of all of you is welcome here. And learning to truly embrace the full spectrum, multi-dimensionally faceted human, divine human beings that we are. We have been taught, systematically programmed in our homes, in our upbringings, in the school system, in church, in our relationships, especially as women, to be polite and to be pretty and to cut and manipulate and shave our truth to make other people comfortable, and to save face and to not say the thing that's gonna ruffle any feathers or do the thing that's gonna make people uncomfortable. And in that, we have really washed ourselves out as a people. And quite frankly, I think we've become boring and lost touch with a lot of inspiration and our wildness and the creative brilliance that is birthed from that wildness, from that raw, untouched, primordial life force that lives within us, that we've put in this fucking cage. And I think not starting conflict when it's not necessary is a wise thing. And I also think being able to hold space for somebody in their full expression, even if it's anger or screaming or grief or sadness, as long as it's not aimed at you in an unconscious way, that's a really powerful and a really beautiful thing. I was witnessed in some extreme grief and guttural screaming and release while in the creative container that I was being held in. And yes, that was an intentionally set container where these parts were welcomed. But it was one of the first times I've ever been truly invited to be in that and be witnessed in that and not feel too much or shamed for that. And our society, we don't have the systems or the structures in place to hold space for the bigness and the fullness of our capacity. I think this is why our culture is so obsessed with rock stars or people who are willing to let themselves go and be that truly human on stage, and why you see people freaking out when that's happening. Like, my theory is that when women were like passing out because Elvis was on stage in his full expression, or people reaching out to Michael Jackson, screaming, freaking out, it's because they were embodying a level of full throttle expression and life force, energy that is so trapped and caged for most people. And so the screaming and the reaching isn't for that person, but what they're representing, which is liberation of the fullness of our expression, which I feel can only be felt and experienced and expressed if we're willing to go there and to feel it. And so inviting that in our relationships, giving people the gift of getting to be in that and be seen and be held in that, it's such a powerful gift to give. And it starts with our own ability to lovingly witness ourselves in our depths. And when I'm talking depths, I'm not just talking about the depths of your grief or the depths of your sadness, but even the depths of your bitchery, of your entitlement, of your inner colonizer, of your inner greedy, obsessive, psychotic, perverted, fucking worst self, your absolute worst behavior. Because it's so scary to go there and to admit and to feel those parts and give them any space for expression or exploration. But for so long as they are suppressed, they will run your life in these subconscious ways that are super detrimental. So it's behoove us to intentionally call these things forward, give them a space to express, to be heard, to be felt, to be seen, and to ultimately be loved, and to know that they're okay. Because otherwise they're just going to keep coming back. So yes, all of you is welcome here, even the worst of you, even the most sick and disturbed and whatever the worst parts of yourself are, because these are the parts that need love the most. Underneath each one of these expressions of shadow, there is a starving, crying little one, little boy, little girl, little being that's just so scared and so love deprived. And so this is how we have to do it. Let it be seen, heard, felt, loved. So I'll give you guys an example of, other than me screaming and crying and shaking and hitting the floor and going berserk in front of the whole group and just being held in loving witness and learning that, wow, that's okay. Like, I'm seen in this intensity, in this volcanic eruption expression of the feminine, and like, I'm still loved. And people aren't afraid of me, and they're still willing to relate to me. Like, that's super healing. The next part that was coming up for me was this part that feels like it's so sensitive and has such an excessive amount of needs and wants and desires that are so endless. And I felt myself so annoyed with this version of like, can you just be like easy? Can you just be simple? Can you just like be okay with what you have? Like, do you always like need more, like want more? Like, when is it enough? So instead of shaming and judging that and being like, it's okay, it's enough, I was like, hold up. What if I just fully owned and animated this extremely needy, sensitive little bitch that's just constantly obsessed with her own needs and her own wants and her own self, and it just never feels enough? What if I just fully gave her a moment to just be felt and be seen and be witnessed? And so I started singing this hook that was like, I'm a needy bitch, I got all of these needs. I'm a needy little bitch, always staying on my knees. I'm a needy bitch, I got all of these needs, and it never seems to be enough for me. I'm a needy bitch. And it was just like, wow, everyone in the space in that moment could relate and was singing along with this song, because it's like, we all have that part in us. Liberation for all parts of the self to be seen. Everything in existence exists, and it wants to be felt. It wants to be heard. It wants to be moved. It wants to be embodied. And the more we resist it, the more we're going to come up against it at a very less than ideal time. So just holding that space for whatever it is. Maybe you need to dance it out, animate it, like really like become it. Let it inhabit you and move it through, instead of acting like it isn't there. Suppress. I'm not horny. I don't want to just like fuck everything. Like, what if you just let yourself run around your house and hump everything? Like, I mean, be careful with that one. Like, don't go, don't let your expression of these things ever cross another person's boundaries, by the way. Like, major key. I'm just going to close this by saying, if you don't feel safe enough with yourself to go there, that is also why it can be extremely supportive to have another person there that's willing and able to hold safe space. And it also is wise to do this work with people who are informed in how to hold this space, whether it's through trauma-informed therapy or, having done work like this, embodiment work, or relational therapy, just a basic understanding of nonviolent communication and like how to hold space, and also checking in that a person is like energetically at capacity for that, and not just like dumping this experience onto another person. But if you want to know more or work on this, message me. I'm available.